This is First Coast Math Clinic with Lesson 4, Absolute Value, from our Foundational Skills videos. So our goal in this video is to define absolute value and find the absolute value of a given number. So, what is absolute value? Absolute value is a number's distance from zero. And to clearly illustrate this concept, a number's distance from zero, I think it's a good idea to talk about a number line. So if you're struggling to understand absolute value and what this concept means, distance from zero, let's go through this and we'll kind of make this make sense. So here's our number line, right? And let's draw this in. So we've got 0 right in the middle. And if we go to the right, our numbers are going to get larger. So we've got our positive values to the right. So let's list those values. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. If we go to the left, right, our values are going to get smaller. So let's list those values, right? We've got the corresponding negative values. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and -7. And if we're looking for absolute value, the mathematical symbol that we're going to use for absolute value is going to be a pair of vertical bars. Okay, so if you see a pair of vertical bars around a number, it means absolute value. So let's say that you see something like a pair of vertical bars around a 2. Right? In this example, this would be the absolute value of 2. So let's figure this out. I'm going to rewrite this down here. So our absolute value of 2. Well, what we're basically saying is if absolute value is a number's distance from 0, we're basically saying is, well, how far is 2 away from 0? So let's do this on our number line, right? Well, 2 is right here. How far is 2 from 0? It's 1, 2 units. So we're going to come up with a specific rule to figure out what our absolute value is. So 2 is going to be 2 units away from 0. What if I asked for the absolute value of -4? Okay, so now how far is -4 away from 0? So let's do this in green. So -4 is right here. -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from 0. So -4 is 4 units away from 0. What about 5? So let's do this in blue. So 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away from 0. So 5, the absolute value of 5 is going to be 5. And what if we do maybe the absolute value of -1, right? So if I'm at -1 here, well, how far is -1 away from 0? Well, -1 is only going to be 1 unit away from 0. So what do we notice? All right, for all of these answers, right, 2, 4, 5, and 1, no matter what our value is here inside of our absolute value bars, right, our answer is always going to be positive. And it's always positive because our absolute value is a distance, and we can't have a negative distance, right? We have to travel a positive distance. So an easy way to think of this is whatever our number is, whatever number we're finding the absolute value of, our absolute value is going to be just that positive value, right? So if I ask you for the absolute value of 23, well, that absolute value is going to be just 23. But if I ask you that for the absolute value of -45, all right, how far is -45 away from 0? It's going to be 45 units. Okay? All right, let's do one more example. Let's go kind of in the opposite direction. Let's say, what number has an absolute value of 6? All right, so what number has a distance from 0 of 6? So we may be thinking right off the bat, well, I know 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units away from 0, right? So if I just draw this in, right? So positive 6. So positive 6 is 6 units away from 0. But also, right, we could use negative 6 as well. And negative 6 is going to be 6 units away from 0. So we have two possible answers here. The absolute value of 6 is 6, and the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. So we have two possible values that have an absolute value of 6. Okay? All right, so this video was this is an introduction, a review of absolute value. We went over the definition of absolute value, went over a couple examples in the number line, what the absolute value is. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. First Coast Math Clinic.